Hey, how's it going? This is Mike from Automatic Nation, and in this video we will be covering junction tables. So to such effect, we will assume that we are handling a given school which has students and classrooms. Those are two different objects or entities. Now, if we want to handle applications, now the very lean and easy way in which we could do that would be, hey, we'll link students to classrooms by having a very direct link or a link record field from students to classrooms, right? Allowing the multiple selection of classrooms, I can now link student A to classrooms 1 and classrooms 2, for instance. Now, assuming that student B applied only to classroom 2, I could link it to classroom 2, and if student C applied both to classroom 2 and classroom 3, this is what we would end up with, which is okay. However, we do not have the ability to understand data at a deeper level, meaning, hey, when did the application for student A on classroom 1 occurred, or what is the status for it, right? The only thing I can get out from this is, for instance, how many classrooms did each of the students apply for. However, once again, I cannot get further detail. So what I would do is actually, I would not link students directly to classrooms. So let's go back on that. And let's also delete the corresponding backlink that's remaining there. And let's go back. So what we will do now is we will create yet an additional table, which is actually the junction table, which we will call applications. And within it, what we can do is, by the way, let's delete all of this so that we start with a fresh start. And what we will say is, hey, let's create a new link record field to students, but let's not allow the multiple selection because I want to have or handle applications one student at a time, right? So let's say, hey, student A applied to a given classroom. So we will now create yet an additional link record field, but this time to the classrooms table, which we will call classroom. Once again, we will not allow for the multiple selection, at least for this use case, because what we will be saying is student A applied to classroom 1, for example, and that occurred on a given date. So let's say, for instance, that occurred on July the 30th. And we can also say that this specific application has a corresponding status, which will be a single select field called status, which could be accepted, rejected, or pending, for example, where we can say green for accepted, red for rejected, yellow for pending. By default, this could be pending. So if I now create new records, that will be pending, right? Now, as mentioned, this specific application could be pending. Now we could have an older application, again for student A, but this time for classroom 2, for which the status is accepted. Now we could also have on a different date a given application for student B for classroom 3, again with its corresponding status, in this case accepted. So what I'm trying to show is, hey, we were able to handle at a high level applications between students and classrooms with a direct link. Now, by having a junction table, meaning an additional table where I will be matching one student to one classroom and having additional data for it, I can get way more detail at a more granular level in that way. And for sure, and as always, you can always bring information from this table to, for instance, the students table by having either lookups, rollups, or count fields. Hope that helps, and we'll be seeing each other on next videos.